What's up, everybody? Kier Gomes here, and welcome to Way Back Wednesday, episode 12? Wow. It's amazing how time flies, isn't it? If you're not familiar, Way Back Wednesday is a series on this channel where we discuss decks from 2013, 2014, 2015, basically any deck that you may have missed out on if you're new to the cardistry, magic, or playing card community. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the Blood Kings V1 by Illusionist, Daniel Madison, and Peter McKinnon. This deck was a gift from my friends over at docsplayingcard.com. If you're interested in picking up playing cards that suit your needs for cardistry, magic, collecting, gambling, or if you're just looking for a place to dump that bonus money, head on over to the link in the description. Before we get started, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way. Alright, so the Blood Kings V1. Now this is one of what would eventually become many different iterations of the King's legacy within Illusionist. It started here with the Blood Kings, I believe in 2013 or 14. Later editions would include a V2 in black, a gold version with a different back design, and what would soon be a staple in the Illusionist lineup, the King Slayers playing cards, which I have reviewed every single version of here on this channel. Now this deck is not to be confused with the Knights playing cards by Daniel Madison and Chris Ramsey. This is Peter McKinnon and Daniel Madison's first collab on a deck together, and I'm really excited to get into it. The tuck case is done in this beautiful, beautiful, bright crimson color. The tuck case is actually, I don't know what this is. I've never seen anything like it. It's not matte, but it's not gloss. It's almost plastic. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's kind of think hybrid between like paper and plastic. It's really nice though, I love it. Front of the tuck case, embossed in gold, has an axe and a sword crossing each other, and it says Blood Kings. The axe and the sword, of course, represent the weapons on the kings within a deck of cards. One side of the deck, embossed in gold foil, says Live Like Kings, and the other side says Die Like Kings. The bottom has some embossed gold ad copy about Illusionist, and the top says Madison and McKinnon, representing the two that worked on this deck. Nothing on the inside of the tuck flap and nothing on the back. Let's take a look at the cards. The back design of the deck looks like this. It's nice and simple casino style. It has that same kind of crimson red color for the back design with a pretty medium-sized border. Looks about the same size as you would see on a bicycle deck. And then mirrored at the top and bottom in white are the sword and axe crossing each other, making this a two-way back design with a very nice and simple aesthetic. Your two jokers look like this. You get an axe on one and a sword on the other. Nothing in the corners, doesn't say joker, it's just the two images. Not bad. If you know me, you know I like simple jokers. Those are done in more of a maroon color. Your ace of spades looks like this. It's a enlarged spade pip, very similar to the same shape as the Madison rounders, but it's kind of just been chopped by presumably a sword or an axe. And at the bottom it says Think Like Kings. I know this is a lot of people's favorite ace of spades, and I definitely love it. I like that a lot. I think it looks great. It works good for the deck, kind of matches the theme. I like it. The deck does come in a stack, so it does not come in new deck order, as you can see. I believe this is mnemonica, and if you happen to know for sure, let me know down in the comments. Your face cards are going to be basically bicycle standard, but the bright red pips and indices on the hearts and diamonds have been really, really darkened to be more maroon color, almost black if you hold them in certain light. For the theme of this deck, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it looks a lot better for this deck than if they were to be bright red. However, for your clubs and spades, the faces do look the same as you would find on any old bicycle deck, which I can appreciate as this deck is geared towards magicians, and this makes it very easy to perform magic with. Most of your court cards are also bicycle standard, except for the muted down colors. So instead of yellow, you get gold, instead of red, you get maroon, and instead of blue, you get black. Looks really good. I can't say it enough. It does match the theme of this deck very well. I wouldn't have done anything differently. There are some familiar faces that you can find on certain court cards within the deck. A lot of them are Madison courts. You do get Peter McKinnon on the King of Hearts. And of course, Daniel Madison on the King of Diamonds. And as far as add cards and gaff cards go, you get a double backer, very nice. And you get a duplicate Queen of Hearts, also nice. If you fan it for the back design, it's fairly standard. It looks just red and white, but it does have a nice contrast. And same thing if you fan it just for the indices. That's pretty much everything I can say about the overall look of this deck. Let's switch angles and talk about the handling. Okay, so in terms of the handling of this deck, it is a little bit older of a deck, so this was kind of before the days of crushed stock. So it's on premium stock, which at the time that this deck was printed would be considered B stock or casino stock. The cards are a lot thicker and a lot more stiff than you would get now, especially compared to today's standards. The deck does not spring as easily as you would get with a crushed deck. This is what the deck looks like in a fan. If you fan it the other way, it looks like that. In movement, it looks just like any other casino style deck would, just like the rounders or anything else. Now again, the thickness of this deck is prominent. I mean, you can even see, holding it in my hands, you can see it's a lot thicker than a standard deck. I don't mind that. I actually like thicker cards, and once you break them in, usually they just last you forever, so no problem there. In a spread, they look fairly standard. Again, you can't really see anything except for that red and white. The cards are difficult to spring for sure. I'm gonna get a cramp, I can tell. If I had to compare the feeling of this deck to anything, I would say it definitely feels... It feels about like the Citizens deck by Theory 11, kind of that thicker, stiffer stock that does require some breaking in and some effort before you're good to go. Let's see how they faro. These cards definitely faro best from top to bottom. And that's about everything that I can say about the handling of this deck. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Way Back Wednesday, where we talk about all things playing card, magic, and cardistry related. If you're new to my channel and you're just seeing it for the first time, I have a ton of videos. Saturdays and Sundays are dedicated to more current affairs. Wednesdays are always dedicated to an old deck. Hopefully that's enough to compel you to subscribe if you aren't already. And of course, I hope you like this video. It does help me out. Once again, thank you to Doc's Playing Cards for sending me this deck so that I can review it for you. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.